TMI. Confessionals of the Nerd Kind. And now, your hosts, Jeff Nerfherder Chandler and Jim Kaiju Baker.
And got it.
So we are back.
We are back. Wow.
With a new episode.
What?
Thanks to everybody that listens through to our point fives. Last time we did Tucker and Dale, which was a huge eye-opening event for me back in 2018. I couldn't believe I'd never heard of that, and I still can't believe it took me 8 years to jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, it was funny when I was putting together the graphic. I had to go back to the episode to listen, and the shock and disbelief that you and Mike had. They were like, "This is awesome," and I'm like,
I know. It's fun to listen back to those.
It's like a little hidden gem.
Yes. But yeah, thanks for listening to the point fives and suffering through until you have a new episode. And you have it today. This is a brand new episode.
Wow. But they're two old movies.
So
it's kind of...
But we're coming at them from a 2026 perspective.
That is true. That is true, because you saw one in the theater.
I did. But we are talking Labyrinth today.
Yeah, it took me a bit to figure out how to spell labyrinth.
It still is hard for me.
Labyrinth.
Where is that Y? Yeah, where is that Y?
It falls in there somewhere, but that's like trying to spell Ahsoka. Where the hell did H go?
And along with Labyrinth, another fantasy classic from the 80s, we are also discussing the Neverending Story.
Yeah, with a couple Muppets thrown in there. David Bowie.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to discuss Bowie, as I always like to. I'm sure
you will. I'll just sit back and take a nap. I'm sure you're gonna teach me some things today.
So as Jeff alluded to, this was a Fathom event. So I went out to the theater again to the 40th anniversary showing of Labyrinth to sit down with a crowd and watch it. And it was fun. It was very fun. It wasn't a Rocky Horror sing-along. It wasn't that level of fandom. But you could tell that these people loved this movie. It was mostly lots of like younger couples. When I say younger, I'm thinking like late 20s, early 30s.
Really?
And some older parents bringing kids as well.
Okay, that was
so I think this movie spans generations, as a lot of movies do, but just the new generation picks it up every 10 years or so.
Yeah, you probably figured those kids in their 20s, their parents probably showed it to them when they were little. Yeah, it's got some scary elements to it if you're especially if you're a screaming little child.
Yeah, talk about scary elements. We'll get to the Neverending Story, but that
Labyrinth, you're talking about the dad? Or?
Labyrinth is nothing compared to the Neverending Story in terms of trauma. Believe me.
It is pretty dark, some of that stuff. All right, so that's cool. So that's what we're going to do. We want to do a little bit of news. Three items today. First and foremost, apparently there is a disturbance in the Force. Lucasfilm has announced that Kathleen Kennedy, who has been in charge of Lucasfilm for the last 14 years, is stepping down. And in her place, fan favorite Dave Filoni, who we can thank for, he was head of animation department for Lucasfilm. And he brought us the Clone Wars, he brought us Rebels, Bad Batch, and then along with Jon Favreau, gave us Mandalorian and most famously Baby Grogu.
Well, does this mean that he's not going to be as hands-on anymore?
I mean, Kathleen Kennedy was in the sense that she was president. I would like to think that his hands are going to be all over this stuff.
But as a creator, because I think that's where his strength was.
I think this is exactly what we need. Kathleen Kennedy, say what you will, and there's a lot of detractors who didn't like her. She did give us the sequel trilogy, for better or for worse. But she also gave us Andor. She gave us Rogue One, Solo. You're now talking about people our age, mid-50s, who grew up with Star Wars and did not latch on to the Rays or the Finns
Right.
And
But we someday we have to move aside because there's a generation that did latch onto that stuff.
oh, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And I think the problem, I'm not going to poop all over the sequels because they are, the sequel trilogy is what it is. It just was not well maintained. If you're going to create a new trilogy, at least map it out so you know where these characters are going to go. I mean, how many of these characters we've talked about in the past that went nowhere? Finn had no ending storyline. You teased me that he maybe, have Jedi powers. Captain Phasma. At least Boba Fett got to come back. All right, so backtrack a little bit. So Kathleen Kennedy is going to stay on as producer for the next two movies, which are being released. We're getting Mandalorian and Grogu in May of this year. And then we are getting Sean Levy's Starfighter, which is coming out in 2027. So beyond that, I don't think there's anything in production. But if you have paid attention to any of the Disneyland news, they just announced that half of Galaxy's Edge is now going back to the original trilogy characters. They are moving away from those sequel characters.
That is interesting. I saw that too. They're only doing it in Disneyland so far. So maybe this is like a testing ground.
But the other thing is, I guess apparently Filoni and Favreau were working toward this Avengers-style Mandoverse movie where they were going to bring all these characters from the different TV shows to fight Grand Admiral Thrawn. So characters from Rebels, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Bad Batch, Skeleton Crew. And now apparently that's on hold. So listen, I'm thrilled that this guy came up as just a nerd fan, somehow ended up in orbit with George Lucas. And now he's got the mantle. Fingers crossed. Anyways, so that's interesting. And we'll just the other thing I did want to mention, and I can't back this up because there's rumors all over the internet that Filoni is on record saying he did not like Andor. And that concerns me.
Wait a second. Did you read that correctly? Is that a misprint?
No, there's multiple headlines, and I don't know. I have to go to Snopes.com to prove whether I can't believe anything I see on the news anymore. Last time I believed the news was when Huey Lewis was in charge of it. So if that's the case, then I have issues because I think there's enough room for adult level storytelling in the Star Wars universe.
Andor is probably in my top 3 series, period, not just Star Wars.
Time will tell, as my grandfather used to say. The other thing, I keep sitting on this news waiting for, I want to bring it up when we were talking about Del Toro's Frankenstein, but I think now's the perfect time only because it comes from a studio in Gobelins, Paris. So it sounds like goblins. So I said, all right, now's the time.
Is it spelled like goblins?
There's an E in it, Gobelins. So Guillermo del Toro and Netflix are launching a stop motion animation studio, which I find absolutely exciting because outside of Leica, we don't really have one. And his Pinocchio that came out a couple years ago, on the dark side. So they're pairing up with this studio. It's an art vocational school in Paris, and they're creating this. It's a partnership with a unique stop motion studio at the school. And so kids will be able to actually learn this age old craft and hopefully bring us some new entertaining stuff. I thought that was pretty cool when everyone's going to CG and especially now with AI crap. I'm in the car, in a taxi, in Aruba, and a Cyndi Lauper song comes on and it's a cover version. And we were like, this is a banging song. And the driver turns to us and he goes, it's AI. It's an AI generated song. You can't even tell. What do I know? It's crazy. We're supposed to be curing cancer with this stuff, not fucking taking money out of artists' mouths. San Diego Comic-Con came out and finally, because of backlash, banned AI art.
Good.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, and finally, I want to we always tend to kind of lean into the deaths of people. And I wanted to celebrate. This is a couple months old now, but Dick Van Dyke, 100 years old, still going strong, out there bouncing around.
Yeah, he's still on the corner with the big bass drum on his back.
Is it the worst Cockney accent in the world?
I'll take it. I'll take it from Dick Van Dyke.
I listen any day of the week. Absolutely. Hello, Governor. I love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and maybe one day we'll talk about it. It's not a great movie because it's super long and it's so disjointed. It's all over the place. But boy, you start talking about Benny Hill is the toy maker, and that damn kid chaser, that creepy kid catcher of nightmares. So there you go. Happy belated Dick Van Dyke, 100 years old. I would like to see him with that one-man band piece again now. He'd probably just fold.
Well, somebody, propped him up on either side. And
probably. Maybe we could get Jim Henson Studios to come in.
Exactly. Speaking of which, this movie isn't quite 100, but it is 40 years old this year.
Yeah.
Labyrinth.
40 years old.
So again, a couple months ago, I saw that this was coming as a Fathom Entertainment, and I said to myself, I have to get out and see this, because it was playing not only on Bowie's birthday weekend here in early January.
I didn't even realize that.
It's also the anniversary of his death, so he died within days of his birthday. It's like a memorial, it's a celebration. And it was fun because it was playing for 4 days as a Fathom event. I went on the Saturday night, probably about half full, the theater. It was very emotional by the end. And it was a nice experience to see it with a big crowd. And it made me sad that I hadn't seen it when it was first out, that I didn't take significant stock of it as a 15-year-old. Again, I'm too cool for school. This is a Jim Henson movie.
Yeah.
Although I do have to say, because I'm going to bring up my Bowie fandom here, I've said many times that I jumped on the Bowie train after seeing him at Live Aid. It's not like I didn't know who he was. It's not like I didn't have the Let's Dance 45 when that came out. I did. But I wasn't a huge mega fan. I was just, enjoyed it whenever he came on the radio. So, after seeing Live Aid, I started to buy his albums, his catalog. And I'm jealous of that person, that version of me, hearing this stuff for the first time, because I was just blown away every single album that I got. And Labyrinth was the first bit of new product that he had put out, after I became a super fan. So that may have been the album that I bought, the current album, the first current album of his that I bought in the store, the soundtrack to Labyrinth. Even though I had the album, I still didn't see the movie in the theater.
That it wasn't enough to get you in the theater.
It wasn't enough to get, I don't know why, but it just maybe I was just too cool for it.
Yeah.
So I saw it when it was on video, and I've always liked it. My appreciation of it has grown over the years, especially with this viewing, because I really got what they were trying to do. This viewing, as a parent, it hits you over the head, and I never saw it before.
Yeah.
What they're trying to say.
It definitely does hit differently, and it makes you appreciate the effort that went into it. And especially, did you watch the YouTube making of 50 Minute?
I have it already because I have the Blu-ray, so I watched all the special features on the Blu-ray, and that was one of them. So
and that goes really deep into his involvement with this character and with the Jim Henson Studios.
And this is kind of like a spiritual successor to Dark Crystal. Not as dark, hence it's not Dark Labyrinth. But first of all, this Fathom presentation, the only disappointing aspect of it to me was the quality of the film.
Oh, I was going to ask,
I could see grain throughout.
So I wonder if they showed you the original 35 millimeter.
Well, it was supposed to, according to all the press releases, it was supposed to be the 4K restoration. So maybe they showed the 30, I don't know, but it was grainy. And then when I went back and I'm like, well, let me watch the commentary on the Blu-ray and see what that picture looks like. It was crystal clear.
Yeah, no, I watched it on streaming and I thought it looked pretty damn good. I think it was on Hulu.
Sure, it does, Hulu, yeah. But I love seeing these older movies with the older logos. TriStar Pictures with a horse running towards camera. And these were the days when you did not have like 10 production logos to suffer through before a movie starts.
A giveaway that,
I really hate that. That's a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, come on. Do you have to, do a bow for every single one of these things?
Sure, they put money into this thing.
And then they do it again. It's like, not only do you see the logos, but suddenly then now in text, you see all the different logos that you see.
Hey, I paid for this. Well, that was cool because the opening credits, that was a really early CGI owl.
Yes, it made me think of The Last Starfighter, that CGI. Like it was like that level kind of, and it's not something that you would think of, I think, in 1986.
No, not
like
at
it's
all.
just an animated owl, right? You could, you
Well,
knew it
but
wasn't
the owl,
real.
but there's a live action owl later in the movie. I'm like,
Yeah.
why couldn't they just have used him? I thought, like Bubo from Clash of the Titans actually got some extra work going on here. But yeah, that 80s synthesizer, I mean, overload, right? Opening credits.
And these both have such distinctive themes to them.
Yeah.
Well, you have the Bowie songs, but you also have the score and Labyrinth of Trevor Jones. They interconnect because Trevor Jones is using the themes from the Bowie songs in a lot of his score, especially the song When the World Falls Down, because you're noticing themes from that song throughout the movie. And you also hear that great song Underground over the opening credits. I love the opening to this because it's her like in an old English, it looks like countryside, and she's got this like medieval dress on.
Yeah, she's like cosplaying. I think she was like the original LARPer.
So if you're unfamiliar with the movie, you think that this movie is set in medieval times, just watching this.
Just opening sequence.
And then you realize that she's reading these lines out of memory, and she's telling them to her dog, and then she runs home.
Merlin, by the way, his name was Merlin. She is merciless. She is in the BITCH, this little girl, Jennifer Connelly, 14 years old.
Well, I think by design. That's the character by design.
Yeah, I know. We're going to talk about it by the time we get to the end, because I'm not really sure she learned anything.
I think she did.
You did? Okay. All right.
I think that this goes up to Toy Story 3 territory at the end and then pulls back.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I'll explain when we get there.
Fair enough. Let's go.
So, interestingly enough, the park scene where, before it starts to rain and she's reading her dialogue to the dog is filmed in England. And then when she's running home, that's in upstate New York.
Oh, get out of here.
Yep.
Seamless.
And I think Haverstraw is where they...
Oh, shit. Okay, right across the river. Yeah.
Is that in your neighborhood there?
It's right across the Bear Mountain Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, my second roommate in college was from Haverstraw.
I saw two locations, Haverstraw and Upper Nyack was the other one.
Okay, they're not that far from each other.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though, because wasn't most of this filmed in England or no?
In England, in the studio, yeah, in the studio, like all the the Labyrinth scenes, but the outside scenes they filmed either in England or New York. And so Sarah has a flustered stepmom.
Yeah.
They don't really get too far into the story with this family, but you just know this is her stepmom because she announces herself as the stepmother.
Yes, right.
And they're waiting for Sarah to come back to babysit her brother. Her half-brother.
So who's significantly younger than she is.
Toby.
So this is fascinating because I have a half-sister who's 10 years younger than me. And every Friday night, it was my responsibility to babysit my sister. And as she got older, I was forced to watch whatever she wanted to watch on one of our 3 channels. And it was always the Dukes of Hazzard. And I hated that stupid.
You hated I watched that willingly.
Yeah, I was junior, senior in high school watching I won't even talk about
was his name Enos?
Enos.
Oh.
I won't even talk about the fact that I had cousins who had pet pigs and his name was Enos.
Too close to Enos.
Yeah, well, I think that might have been the joke. We just didn't get it.
Maybe that was the original name, and we can't name him that.
Were any shorter, you definitely would have seen some Enos.
But anyway, she is not happy to be babysitting. She runs up to her room and slams the door. The camera pans across her room. Everything in her room comes back later in the story.
Yeah, which
everything.
Makes it that it's all in her head. This to me, I couldn't believe the parallels between this and The Wizard of Oz. And even when we get into
she's got The Wizard of Oz, the book on her shelf. She's got Snow White on the shelf.
Where the Wild Things Are. You're right. There's like stuffed animals of some of these creatures that she encounters.
She's got the Goblin King on her bureau.
Yeah,
the Goblin King
with David Bowie. With
yes,
the
all like that's pictures of her real mom on the not Jennifer Connelly's real mom, but the mom that's either dead or divorced, what have you.
We never. Yeah.
The mother was apparently, because I freeze framed when I looked at the Blu-ray, and it's newspaper articles. The mother apparently was like a Broadway star.
Okay, yep.
And the actor that she's pictured with is David Bowie in the photos on her mirror.
So this is fascinating that this potentially could be all in her head.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you get too into it, you're like, okay, what does Jareth want the baby for? Is the baby going to turn into a goblin after midnight, or are all these other goblins? Are they babies too?
Are they all babies too? The little bratty sisters.
But it doesn't matter if it's all in her head. It doesn't matter.
No, but you're right.
It's a self-serving fantasy.
It's just to set the tone. And you're right. And I was wondering, watching this on the big screen, are you going to catch stuff that you can't see? I mean, listen, we talk about this numerous times that we always, we all got friggin' high def, 70-inch televisions now, and all this stuff is getting cleaned up. But yeah, you watch this on VHS as a kid, or you watch this on TV, you're missing all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. If you see it for the first time, you're not going to think to yourself, all this is going to come back later in the movie.
Right.
You've got to see it more than once to catch that.
Yeah. Or you watch those behind the scene documentaries and they tell you, oh yeah, if you pay attention, this book is in the
because you first see the fiery, those guys that take their heads off. She's got a plush of one of those. Yeah. She's got a plush of the fox there that guards the bog of eternal stench.
Yeah. So this is a making of her own. This is watching this again with a critical eye blew me away. The level of detail. We talk about this, the first sequence, the song where we're introduced to the Goblin King, and he's in the chamber. Oh no, we get him once before, but
because he comes through the window with the owl.
That synthesizer sounded like my cat was running across the Herbie Hancock's
and keyboard. I love that it was almost like Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, when all the goblins are hiding in her room when she turns around.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. And I got a newfound appreciation for this movie, because there's a lot crammed in here.
There is. But
like you said, you kind of dismiss it as a teen because you're like, oh, it's just a stupid kid's movie. It's not. No, if anything, you relate to her on a certain level.
And the other thing that struck me was that her the wind-up figure. It wasn't a snow globe, but it was just like a music box that she wound up. Mm-hmm. That figure is dressed in like a ball gown, which she is dressed in a little bit later.
Yeah.
But the tune that it plays is the song that is playing during that ball gown scene. So, yeah, it's all there. But Bowie shows up. The owl comes through the window, which is either Bowie, it's either the Goblin King himself or like the harbinger of the Goblin King.
Yeah, he's like a little herald.
Yep, so Bowie and his bulge come through the window. The bulge, that's how he opened the door. Just he like bumped it. And
how was that on the big screen?
You couldn't get away from it.
I can't believe that. I'm like, I don't know why you wanted Toby. I think he's already got a small kid packed away in his Lululemons there. How they didn't really, can we put a cod piece on this guy?
They allude to this in the commentary. Brian Froud.
He's a Henson guy.
He designed a lot of the stuff that you see in Labyrinth. And so his idea for the Goblin King was, because this is a story about Sarah, like bridging from childhood to adulthood.
Well, so bulge would definitely bring you.
Yes. He's like, there's a lot been said about his outfit here. And I don't think he said bulge and Bowie's person. I think he was very polite about it, right? So he said, but this was by design. This is kind of like that really dark, disturbing, aspect of going into adulthood and not wanting to go there. I'm like, I don't know if I would have crossed that line making this movie. I'm like, maybe give him a pair of shorts or something else.
I don't want to reach adulthood, but man, that man's package is really drawing me in.
And he also admits, Brian Froud also admits on the commentary that they didn't quite get there with the wig. It was a bit too Tina Turner-ish.
It works.
He was going for like a wolf kind of a look on the Goblin King.
Wolf, really?
And he didn't quite get there. Just a couple of years later, maybe 1 year later, after Labyrinth came out, he did the Glass Spider Tour, and he had like a huge mullet with very high hair, did Bowie. And I'm thinking to myself, he could have done this with his own hair, right? He didn't really need a wig. But then I saw him behind the scenes, and he had just filmed Absolute Beginners before he did this movie, and he had a crew cut in Absolute Beginners.
Short, yeah.
So he had to, he couldn't have pulled it off.
You mentioned Brian Froud, and there's a little bit of nepotism going on here because Toby is actually played by his son.
Yes, same name.
Toby. Yeah, well, listen, if you're going to use a little baby on set, don't confuse it by giving it a different name.
This is true, yeah. Every time Toby was on screen and crying, Brian Froud he was on set, obviously, and he's like, as a parent, you have to fight every instinct to go to him and soothe him as he's crying, but we're actually trying to make him cry for these scenes.
They had to go out of their way to make this kid cry because he was in love with all these goblins.
Yeah.
Like he was enchanted by them. Yeah.
Speaking of just the great shot, the visual of the goblins waiting for her to say the words. Like they wake
all
up.
Crammed together. Like
they're all crammed together. Like, say the words, say the words.
They're like little bats, like all like little conclave together. Yeah, she says it pretty quick. She's like, come take this kid away from me. Yeah. I got to go watch Dukes of Hazzard. I ain't got time for this baby. Like this kid wasn't even a problem. She just couldn't be bothered. No. She was more mad at the stepmom.
So Jareth tells her, go back to your room, play with your toys. I'm doing what you asked me to. You're not going to have a brother anymore. Yeah.
All right. Yep. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, crap. You want him back. 13 hours, man.
Yep. 13 hours to solve my labyrinth.
Is that how long the parents are gone?
That's a pretty good date. They're probably going out of state for that date. They probably got a hotel room.
They do have a hotel room. No wonder why she hates this lady.
Right. You got 13 hours or then he becomes one of us. First creature she meets is Hoggle. Now, this is an amazing costume, animatronic. Yeah. I don't know what you would classify it as.
Yeah, because it's not a Muppet. It's a person in a costume. But you're right. It's almost like how they later would go and create the Ninja Turtles. You actually have somebody physically in a suit, but then the head itself is animatronic. And Brian Froud, I believe, did the voice of Hoggle.
No, it was Henson's son that did the voice.
Brian Henson.
Yes.
But it was Sherry Weiser in the actual physical costume running around. So that's a lot of weird timing.
There was a few interviews during the Fathom event before the movie. Brian Henson was one of them, and he did a little bit of voice from Hoggle, so you knew it was him. He's not lying. He's basically
doing like a Billy Barty impersonation.
And he said because obviously the actor in the suit, she can't see, right? Because there's no eyes to look through because it's all mechanized. So he kept having to mumble like, so the mouth would open. So you can see through. So you have some idea where you are.
Wow. That's
the reason why Hoggle mumbles all the time, so they could open his mouth constantly.
I think that adds to his character, though. Yeah. That he's just like this little. I think I got a little Hoggle in me because I just run around mumbling all day.
Now, did you hear the story about Hoggle after the fact, after the movie was filmed?
The one that was trapped in the airport?
Yes.
That's crazy.
They were shipping Hoggle somewhere after the movie was filmed. I don't know if they were shipping it to the studio or shipping it wherever, but the suitcase got lost with the Hoggle outfit.
Lost your Hoggle, sorry.
Yeah. And it ended up in like the unclaimed baggage warehouse.
Found, yeah.
Nobody ever picked it up. There's a museum in Georgia, or was it in Mississippi? I don't remember where. Alabama. It could be Alabama.
Like there. Hold on, yeah.
Yeah, there's an unclaimed baggage.
Like, we're not going to go get it.
Museum. So there's enough cool stuff that people never picked up again that they have a museum for all this stuff. And Hoggle is just one of the many things they've got down there.
Scottsboro, Alabama. Okay. Alabama. Unclaimed baggage. Yeah, that's nuts. Hey, whatever happened to that Hoggle? I don't know.
Yep, it's in a glass case in Alabama. So Hoggle is killing fairies.
Oh, he's spraying them with DDT.
So this made me think, this has a lot in common with Legend, if you think about it, the movie Legend.
There's actually another tie-in with Legend. They were filming right next door. Yeah, that's how Mia Sara and Brian Henson ended up getting married.
Now,
they met each other while filming.
They're very similar, synthesized scores, right?
We are talking mid-'80s, so.
Yeah. Would you call Mia Sara the protagonist in Legend? She's one of them. But there's like a dark prince trying to subvert her. There's a dance scene towards the end. So there's a lot of correlations with Legend going on here. But yeah, Hoggle is spraying fairies because fairies, just like in Legend, are kind of annoying.
Ow, it bit me. Well, what do you
Yeah.
expect? It's a fairy.
Yeah.
And I will
And he's
say,
peeing. He's peeing the first time you see him.
I will say this, the world building here and in our follow-up movie is exquisite.
Yeah.
It really is. Although I have to ask, are there rules to Labyrinth? Can I just climb the wall and call it a day? Do I need to stay in there? It's not like Harry Potter where the...
Yeah, if you were the Time Bandits, you just run across the top.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
they already figured it out. But yeah, she's running in the labyrinth. Can't find, it's all just straight lines. Can't find anything. Comes on the worm. And even this worm is fascinating. You literally have like a puppeteer hiding behind the wall, moving this little tiny Muppet, for lack of a better term. And you noticed, and this is something I never noticed, was like these, they almost look like coral reef that had eyeballs on the end of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just sitting
And they
there.
all follow her.
Yeah, no, little stuff like that, you get lost. I was curious how all this held up on screen, because I will say when you get to those Furies, it kind of falls apart on
Well,
TV,
it
so.
falls apart endearingly because it's
Yeah.
like a throwback to the old, Muppet Show kind of background screen filming, green screen filming.
But again, you watch that behind the scenes featurette, and they talk about, the more they tried to figure out how to make these guys move, and they just ended up having a ton of fun with it. Well, what if their heads came off and all of a sudden they're bouncing around like basketballs? You're right. There's a very Sesame Street feel to them, but I think that's part of the endearing factor of these characters.
And it fascinates me that this worm character, that they have like a little tiny thing that Jennifer Connelly can react to, but for close-ups, it's like a normal-sized puppet.
Yes, but again, this is all practical. These are all on set. Even when we get to Ludo, who is just like a snuffleupagus.
Ludo is amazing. I was trying to figure out, are there two people in this?
But again, you got someone else running all the hydraulics and the animatronics in the head.
Worm tells her, because it looks like the labyrinth just goes on forever in either direction. And he's like, no, right across the pathway here.
You gotta change your perspective here, young lady.
She goes, good thing she went that way. If she went the other way, she'd go straight to the castle.
Which is good. Stupid worm.
And then you get the big magic dance number.
Oh, this is so fantastic. And again, this is just, you don't even take into account that there's, 50 puppets. The guy's like, when all the puppets are removed, it looks like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
There's so many holes in the stage. He goes, we were afraid it was going to fall apart. But yeah, you got people in costumes. You got animators. You got puppeteers. You got David Bowie out there singing live with these things. It's crazy.
Yeah. And he's kicking Muppets like footballs off the set. It
had to, I mean, again, just watching the behind the scenes stuff on this just shows you like the joy that these guys, and it's gotta be grueling, hiding underneath a log, stupid crap.
Talking about grueling, once we get to the guy, the juggler, who's got the crystals. But this always makes me laugh out loud whenever I see this movie, when Bowie obviously has the doll and he's throwing the baby in the air. And then he throws it up at one point and he walks out from under it, and then the goblin catches it. And then all these also little bits, like whenever you see Sarah, there's always something going on in the background of the labyrinth, like when she's making lipstick arrows. Like trying to leave a breadcrumb trail, and these like little people are coming out of the sidewalk and turning the stones around.
Yeah, it's a fun running joke.
Yeah.
You're never gonna find your way back.
The Tweedledee, Tweedledum, the two cards that are.
Oh yeah, well I was gonna say there's a lot of Alice in Wonderland thrown in here as well, because they feel like those guard playing cards.
And then she outsmarts them because one of them can only tell the truth and one of them only lies.
I'd still be trying to figure out what door to go into. It doesn't matter. She ended up in the wrong door, did she not?
So what did she say? Like, would he tell me that this is certain death, or would he tell me this is the way for the castle? Right. I had to pause it, like when I was watching it again, and say, did that make sense? And I worked it out. Like,
it
does. Actually, it does.
Does it? All right. I'm glad you figured it out, because I'd still be standing there. Wait a minute.
Not that I'd be able to figure it out standing there in the moment.
Are you the one lying to me? Was that before? Was that after she ran into the helping hands.
Well,
which are just...
once she goes through the door,
that's right.
after she figures it out, then she falls through the helping hands.
Yeah.
Again, Alice in Wonderland, straight from Alice in Wonderland.
I like the little running joke that she kept getting Hoggle's name wrong.
Yes, Hogwarts. But the hands, the helping hands. Was I the only one that thought of Moominchance when I was...
Oh, yes, old school right there.
Yeah, the one that you passed by, it should have had like a big toilet roll as it was unrolling. After she's at the bottom of the helping hands, they're in the oubliette, which is like, what, a dungeon? Like a underground dungeon? And Jareth is getting nervous. He's like, she shouldn't have even made it this far. And you find out that Hoggle had made a deal with Jareth to kind of screw up Sarah as she's going along. But
he's a double agent.
He's a double agent, but Hoggle is feeling guilty about this the entire time.
He should. But that's a great scene where they come, that little Muppet, and he turns into Jareth.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yep. Because, he's like a little beggar Muppet that's like against the wall, and he stands up, and it's Jareth.
Yep. That was great. A couple times she's like, oh, it's a piece of cake. And then immediately get into trouble.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not a piece of cake.
But it's funny, whenever Jareth has a scene with Hoggle and he's always, taking him to task for not showing Sarah the wrong way, he's leading with that bulge, and you cannot get around it. And I'm glad that this little actress can't, because that's eye level to Hoggle.
She's telling Brian, can you mumble a little more? I can't quite see it. Brought her into womanhood. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. At one point, Sarah even says, how can I even trust you? And he goes, what choice do you have?
Yeah. That labyrinth cleaner with all the blades that comes through.
That's. Yeah. And then it's just those two guys with the, pedaling on the backside.
But they were saying on the commentary that thing was real, with real metal. Yeah. So they were actually trying desperately to get out of its way as it was coming towards them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a really weird manic energy to this whole thing. And then we meet Ludo, who's being hung upside down.
Poor Ludo. He's adorable, this guy.
Oh, he's fantastic. Like I said, he's just like an upright snuffleupagus.
I can't pinpoint one negative thing about this costume of Ludo. I'm trying to see like the seam on the head. You can't. It looks perfect. It looks perfect.
Real. He was real.
But he's hanging upside down. And again, you don't know what's going on unless you see this more than once. But Ludo is causing these rocks to roll towards Sarah so she can free him. So she starts to throw rocks at the guards, but Ludo is giving her the rocks because he sees her.
Yeah, this is interesting that he has the ability to communicate with rocks.
Yeah.
And then the next movie, you have a rock biter. I'll see your rocks and eat them.
But she helps Ludo down. He sits up and then he stands. And again, I'm thinking, how are they operating this? It's a huge thing. It's just one person. When you look at the commentary, and I think in the behind the scenes, then you find out, okay, it's one actor in that suit. He's got one arm through one of Ludo's arms and one through his head. Because if you notice, one of his arms just hangs at his side.
Yeah, which is a class. I mean, that's how Big Bird is operated.
Yeah. If you listen to Ludo, it kind of sounds like Animal from the Muppets. So I'm wondering if it's the same guy. Yeah. Smell bad.
There you go. Right. So now we get to another set of doors.
The door knockers again, right out of Alice in Wonderland, right?
Oh, these are Waldorf and Statler, though.
Yeah,
these guys are. But again, flawless puppets, Muppets, whatever you want to call them. They are.
Yep.
Yeah, they look like shiny metal, but yeah, they're fun.
The Bog of Eternal Stench, for lack of a better description, is just like a swamp with anuses in it.
That's what it looks like.
And it looks like, really grotesque exposed monkey anuses as well.
Yeah, they went all out on this one. Because Hoggle kept mentioning it. So it's like, all right, we're building up to this.
So Brian Froud in his commentary, he's like, now we get to the real juvenile part of this story.
And let's make some fart jokes.
So at one point, they brought on the screenwriters of Labyrinth, brought on Terry Jones from Monty Python to go through the script and give it some humor, because George Lucas, who's the executive producer, thought it needed some humor. So they bring on Terry Jones to interject it. And not only did he do that, he rewrote a lot of these scenes. And so Brian Froud, he's like, I was a little bit embarrassed putting the scene out in theaters. And especially when they had the royal showing of Labyrinth, the royal premiere. But he said years later, he was at some kind of an event and he ran into Prince Charles. And he introduced himself and he goes, I'm Brian Froud. I met you once before at the royal premiere of Labyrinth. And Prince Charles says to him, oh yeah, bog of eternal stench. The scene where Hoggle finally turns his back on Sarah by giving her the peach.
Like friggin' doped her up.
Makes her forget.
Yeah, and all of a sudden she's like back in her bedroom.
So this is interesting because I think this kind of really opens up the theme of this movie because she starts to eat the peach. She starts tripping out, as you said. We do get the ball gown scene. And again, this scene is Sarah like in the same dress that's in the music box that's on her dresser. We get that song As the World Falls Down from Bowie. And Brian Froud again is saying like all these people have like these grotesque masks on because again, going into adulthood is kind of a disturbing thing.
Sure.
And we want Sarah to be out of her element here. Especially these days, this scene could be seen to be problematic. You know, is this a romantic scene between Jareth
Well, you mentioned
Sarah?
it before with the comparison between Darkness and Mia Sarah's character in Legend.
Yeah.
The same thing where he's trying to seduce her.
But he's not really because, again, we've already established that this is all in Sarah's head. Right. So he's not trying to seduce her. This is a character that Sarah has created that is dancing with her.
Yeah. But you're right in the sense that someone could just look at this and be like, well, that's creepy. And she's 14 years old. Doesn't matter. She comes to her senses. Even
with the bulge and everything else, you never get the sense that the Goblin King has that interest in her whatsoever.
No, not at all. No, he wants, if anything, he wants the baby. Yeah, which is even creepier.
Yeah.
If you want to go down that road. Sarah, go back to your life. I'll take care of this baby. Go have fun.
She falls into this big junk pile and she sees the junk lady who's got all this junk on her back and her head's like in the middle of her body. And she's giving Sarah things to stack on her own back. She opens the door and Sarah's back in her room and the junk lady's going around Sarah's room.
Grabbing crap
and putting it on her back. So it's the weight of her childhood on her back. And in order to get her brother back, she has to put away childish things, face adulthood, and get her brother and be responsible.
Oh, man, now you're getting really heavy-handed here.
So this is the theme of the movie, and this is why I'm saying that it's going into Toy Story 3 territory, because Andy does the same thing. He leaves his childhood behind at the end of Toy Story 3.
And I was screaming at him the whole time.
Yeah.
Do you know how much they're going to be worth later? You're going to be chasing after those stupid things the rest of your life. I used to have this.
Yeah.
I'll pay $300 for it now.
So that's what the junk lady is trying to do. She's trying to make Sarah forget about Toby, like regress. This is all your comfort stuff.
There you go, man.
This is like just be a kid again.
Here
you go. Here's this. This looks nice. Here's this. This looks nice. Here's this. And you can see it. She's becoming another garbage lady. You know, she's going to be like somebody just like this little puppet. This is just junk, she says. And that's where you say to yourself, just like you're saying to Andy at the end of Toy Story 3, no, it's not. There's a balance. You can still have this stuff and be an adult.
You got to keep some of that. You got to keep one foot in the childhood.
But she throws it all away. She sees that it's a sham and she breaks through her door and rejoins her friends.
Yeah, but you're right. That fantasy ballroom sequence is pretty well done. Mm-hmm. And again, you're right. It calls back to that snow globe music box thing.
Yeah.
You know,
but let me just say that for the Bog of Eternal Stench scene, okay, they meet the fox and they meet like his trusty steed, which is the dog.
That puppet riding a dog is fantastic.
It is.
And you're just like, again, because it's a real dog. Maybe not in every scene.
Not in every scene, because that's the reason they chose that sheepdog, so they could easily make a Muppet dog for close-ups.
But it's flawless.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, as a 58-year-old, I can point and go, oh, that's the puppet. Oh, that's the real dog. But it's fantastic. And he's just riding around on the back
especially,
of the dog.
when you see the long shots and just the puppet bouncing up and down.
On the dog's back.
And you hear the guy doing the voiceover for the puppet. Go on. But here's the quibble I have with the Bog of Eternal Stench. Okay. So at one point, Sarah's going over the rope bridge and it breaks.
Oh yeah,
and she grabs onto the branch so she doesn't fall in. And Ludo makes the rocks come up.
Yeah,
they're wet. with the
Yes,
bog of
correct.
eternal stench.
Yeah, so
We
her
were
bottom of her
told that if
feet.
you put one toe
Yeah.
in the bog of eternal stench, you will smell bad forever.
Yeah.
She's stepping in the
On the
wetness,
rocks.
so she
Yeah.
should smell bad. But
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
But they get past the farting anuses in the bog of eternal stench,
And then they go bowling for goblins.
they go bowling for goblins. They get to the final battle, and that great puppet, that giant gate puppet. When the gate closes and that big armored thing comes walking out, it reminded me of the behind the scenes stuff that you see about the Alien Queen from Aliens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, there's just this big animatronic.
It's just a giant puppet. Yeah. But is this leading into, because we get this fantastic end sequence where they're running around in the MC Escher castle upside down. The steps are going every which way. The baby's crawling around. Goblin King is walking upside down.
Yep.
And it's so well done. And I'm like, did anybody tell the Goblin King he's not in the musical? He just breaks into song all the time.
He does. Well, that's what he does, right? So, but again, you saw the Escher painting on her wall.
Yes, correct.
Earlier.
Yeah. But this is so well realized.
She's upright on the stairs, and he's on the stairs below her going down, but he's actually going up the stairs.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
And there's that one scene where his body actually goes from upside down to right side up. Yeah.
And you're like, how'd they do that?
Yeah, they had a rig. Did you see that on the
I don't think I even got that far. So
they had a rig on him, so they actually physically did that.
Because nowadays you could just do it with CG, but back then, like I said, it's all practical in camera. This stuff.
And I'm hoping before we even get to that sequence when they're having the big battle in the Goblin Village or whatever it is.
Yeah, that siege on the village is fun.
I really, in my heart of hearts, hope that this is an homage to the Muppet Show, but Sarah actually says "Hiya" when she hits one of the goblins.
A little Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
That would have been nice just to see a Kermit stuffed animal on her bed.
And you caught the one goblin with a machine gun that they crush with the giant boulder?
Yes.
That is Kenny Baker.
That is R2-D2 himself.
Yes.
Yep. Uncredited.
And Willow. What is his name?
Oh my gosh. I have his picture right here. Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis. So he's in there too, running around.
Yeah. And don't forget, I mean, Frank Oz has got his hand all over this as well, between him and Jim Henson. So, like you said, the hi-ya with the Miss Piggy reference kind of. Whether it was intentional or not, but it's still fun.
Sarah tells her friends that she's got to do this alone because before she goes and confronts Jareth on the upside down stairs, there's Toby and there's Sarah and there's Jareth, and they're all going in different directions at the same time. And Jareth is singing the song. And she finally realizes she has to make the leap of faith to finally save Toby.
Clock's ticking down, man.
And she does. So she has saved him.
Pennywise on him by just saying you have no power over me.
I think she did, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, at the very end, that last dialogue scene she has with Jareth after she's beat him, he's like a ghost. You can see right through him as he's walking around her. So, again, just a little bit more evidence that he is not only losing his power, but he's just a figment of her imagination. So she wakes up, parents come home. Toby's there, all is well with the world. And she goes back into her room, and now she has to face actually putting away her childish things. So she's looking in her mirror, and all the characters are saying goodbye to her in the mirror. Like, it's like Christopher Robin growing up. It's a very sad proposition.
Oh, bother.
So they're like, whenever you need us, we'll be here. And what does she say? I think I need you right now. And she turns around and they're all there.
Yeah, because up to that point, they're all in the mirror. And I'm like, here's another reference to Alice in the Looking Glass.
But this is a great ending. And this is what makes it so emotional, because she's not doing an Andy. She's not throwing her childhood away.
No, she's embracing.
Yeah. She does. She's finding the balance.
Yeah.
And this is where
party going on here.
I didn't like the commentary with Brian Froud at this point, because he said that he was very much against showing this party, because it would have made, to him, it made no sense that Sarah went through this and is now embracing all these characters. I loved it. I would have been, I think, disappointed if she walked away from it. I don't know.
I said at the beginning I didn't think she learned anything, but maybe she did. Maybe I didn't look at it through the eyes of a 14-year-old teenager. I just was worried about that kid.
I think that she has found the balance that Andy never could.
So what happens the next time she's asked to babysit?
Maybe they go back and hang out with Ludo and
That would be fun. See,
Yeah.
we never got a sequel to this.
Yeah, whenever she has to change his diaper, she's like, at least it's not as bad as the Bog of Eternal Stench.
Right. I just have Ludo come in.
Smell bad.
Yep. So yeah, this is I had a newfound appreciation for this after watching it again.
Yeah, so did I. What kind of popcorn buckets out of 5? What would you give to Labyrinth?
I'm actually gonna go 4 1/4 on this. I enjoyed it immensely. Just listen, I'm a sucker for Muppets anyways, and especially Jim Henson. And again, he passed 4 years after this, 1990.
Yeah.
So we never got another Jim Henson directed Muppet movie, but this is fantastic. Gene Siskel did not appreciate this. Do you see what he had to say about it?
I did see what he had to say about it.
He's a curmudgeon. Unbelievable. What an enormous waste of talent and money is his quote. And for that, I say, hey, go take your Saturday Night Fever disco costume. And
he went on to call it awful and with a pathetic story. Pathetic.
So apparently he didn't get it at all.
No.
It was not aimed at him, I guess.
Ebert liked it slightly better. He gave it 2 out of 4 stars, but he felt that it never really came alive.
I think it's definitely found its audience now, right?
Definitely.
I mean, the fact that they're re-releasing it in the theaters 40 years later.
It didn't find its audience then. The budget was about $25 million.
That's a lot for...
Yeah, worldwide, it made back $34 million. On its opening weekend in the U.S., it opened at number 8, and it never got farther than that.
86 was a big year anyways, though. 86 had some banger movies. That's too bad. Well, I mean, it's appreciated now. But...
It definitely is appreciated now.
Yep.
I just forgot to mention that they had to truck in Sparkle. Because if you notice, when she's in the labyrinth, there's sparkles on everything. So glitter and sparkles, they had to just, that's probably still in their lungs to this day.
Is there like a glitter department? That's all they do. Yeah, we need 6 tons of glitter.
But we didn't talk about the crystals. The guy with the juggler.
Again, practical. Yeah, it's not even him doing it.
No, it's just some guy with his hand up, so it looks like it's Bowie's hand. That's, with one hand who's manipulating the crystals. There's a lot of ball imagery when Bowie's on screen.
Well, listen, she is covered into womanhood. What do little girls think of?
In the behind the scenes footage, you see all the outtakes. The guy, he didn't do it in one take. He did it in like 50 takes. He just keeps dropping them.
Yeah.
And Bowie just had to sit there.
Bowie how to do this. No, I don't think so. So what are your buckets?
Did I not give buckets already? I would give it 4.5. 4.5 buckets.
Okay. I'm just underneath you. Very cool. I am disappointed that I did not get to see this in the theater. So it would have been a little more fun to have a crowd experience.
I did hear people singing along at the end to Underground when closing credits ran.
Now, did any of these songs actually make it on the charts at that time?
Underground did, because that was the single that was out at the time. Underground, I think, is one of his more underrated songs.
Well, it was enough to get you to buy the album, just not to see the movie.
It was. I think I would have bought any Bowie album at that point, regardless.
Very cool.
Yes. So, all right. Are we going to the concession stand this week?
We are going to the concession stand. I do. And it's a combination of one of our main characters that we just talked about and the fact that I just spent my week traveling.
Okay.
So, if you travel at all, you are going to recognize this iconic red and yellow elongated box shaped like a pyramid and pretty much in every duty-free shop. Across the world.
Yes.
Toblerone. Combination of Toby and
Toby
and Lee.
Toblerone.
Toblerone. So this thing, I see them everywhere. I don't think I've ever eaten one. I couldn't tell you what they tasted like.
Is it toffee? I think maybe I've eaten this before.
So let's start at the beginning, which is 1899. So a little more than 40 years ago. Gene Tobler opened a chocolate factory in Bern, Switzerland, And in 1908,
And on the assembly line, they were singing, "Tonight we're gonna party like it's 1899."
So anyways, in 1908, Theodore Tobler and his cousin, Emil Baumann, developed a special recipe in triangle shape, marketing it as the first chocolate with a filling. So the name itself, Toblerone, is a blend of the creator's name, Tobler, and Torrone, which is the Italian word for the honey almond nougat used in the bar.
So this is the first chocolate with a filling ever?
Apparently, this is what it's marketed as. You know, you're talking 1908. So the ingredients themselves are milk chocolate with honey, almond nougat, and almonds. And of course, the iconic shape is distinctive triangular pyramids. If you actually take the candy out of the box, it's just a line of these little pyramid chocolates all attached at the base.
So it's not one solid
It is not
column
one
of
solid.
pyramid.
I guess it was a combination. It was easy to be able to pick off the pieces. But the shape itself was inspired by the Matterhorn Mountains of the Swiss Alps,
I see.
symbolizing the Swiss quality of the chocolates.
So if you're like a karate expert and you're in a line to pay at Michael's or something and you have to fight someone, you could grab a couple of boxes of Toblerones and like nunchucks, right?
There you go. I can imagine that 3/4 of these, when you open up the box, are already broken apart.
Yeah.
I don't know how solid they are connected to each other. So apparently it's inspired by the Matterhorn Mountains, but there are some accounts that it was in fact inspired by the human pyramids famously seen in the cabarets of Paris.
Now this is different than the human centipede, right?
Maybe this is what comes out of the centipede. The end. Oh my. So in 1909, they actually patented the manufacturing process. So to this day, no one else can copy this, the way that they, I guess, put the nougat inside the chocolate. Because it sounds like it's a hollow chocolate that is then injected with this nougat. And it was the same year that they branded and trademarked the name at the Swiss Federal Institute of Intellectual Property. And we're going to come back to that in a little bit in the fun facts. So, yeah, Toblerone was considered the first patented milk chocolate bar. It is also known as one of the oldest candy bars using milk chocolate, although not the first. There was another Swiss chocolate company that had a product from Branch that launched a few years earlier. But by the 1920s, it was a worldwide bestseller, sold in over 120 countries. And as I mentioned, if you're walking through an airport and you walk by any duty-free shop, there's your Toblerone. Matter of fact, I don't know if I even see it anywhere else. As you said, maybe in Michael's.
Maybe Michael's or,
because
Five
they're pretty
Below
long.
or somewhere like that.
They're not like little tiny candy bars. They're pretty long. They're like a foot long, these boxes. Yeah. So, but it wasn't until the 1960s that they actually added the Matterhorn Mountain on the packaging. And then there's also an outline of a bear, the symbol of Bern, which is where they make it. 60s and 70s, they introduced the dark and white chocolate varieties, and they merged with Sucard. Up to this point, they were a privately owned company. And then, of course, in the 90s, they were bought out by Mondelez International, formerly known as Kraft Foods, who still own it today. So
there's more than one flavor now, though, right? Because you can get they're different colored boxes, I've noticed.
Yeah. So there's dark chocolate, there's white chocolate, there's one that's a fruit and a nut. So there's a different variety of stuff. So up until 2022, these were made exclusively in Switzerland, and now there's a limited portfolio which is being produced in Slovakia. And because of that, they had to change the slogan on it that is no longer Swiss chocolate.
I wonder if there's a distinct taste difference between what's made in Slovakia and what's made in Switzerland.
I bet you there's some chocolate purists out there who probably would tell you there is a difference. Yeah. I know that American chocolate is reviled.
It is, yeah. I've read that Europeans think it tastes like vomit.
Yeah, or plastic. Yeah, so. Anyway, some fun facts. I mentioned the patent office where the Swiss Federal Institute of Intellectual Property, which is where they trademarked and patented the process. Any guesses as to who was working there at the time?
Benjamin Franklin.
Mr. Albert Einstein. So Mr. Albert Einstein himself may have been involved in Ben Franklin. I think it was a little bit before
That was
that,
a couple of centuries before that.
That's right. So I wasn't even going to. I like the idea that was Ben Franklin. I love that name.
Hey, he had his fingers and everything else.
Yeah, French women. Speaking of hiya. So anyways, the distinctive pyramid shape lent its name to a line of anti-tank embattlements from World War II called the Toblerone line. And these were set up along border areas in Switzerland to hold back the Nazi hordes. And the other fun fact I came across, the interior of the Tobler factory in Switzerland was the location where the title sequence of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Family, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was filmed.
So all that mixing chocolate scenery is from the Toblerone factory.
Yeah, so if you go back and watch, maybe you can actually see it being made. They actually Toblerone. So hopefully Sarah gave Toby some candy after all that ordeal. She definitely had to change his diaper. So
yeah,
that's
what was
that's
Jareth going to do in that situation?
I don't know. Well, I guess the goblins would have to do whatever he commanded. Although he didn't really seem like a jerk to the goblins. Like they got along. They were singing. They got the chorus line down.
Yeah.
So there you go. Toblerone.
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 All right. Our second feature came out 2 years before Labyrinth.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Labyrinth came out summer of 86. This came out summer of 84 in the States. The Neverending Story.
Yeah. Directed by Wolfgang Peterson, who I had no clue was this director.
Das Boot.
Das Boot, Enemy Mine, Air Force One, Perfect Storm.
Line of Fire is him, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. He is no longer with us. I believe that he passed.
You are correct, I believe.
Yeah. But Atreyu, played by Noah Hathaway, famous as Boxy in Battlestar Galactica.
Now he owns a tattoo parlor.
Does he?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if this kid, Barrett Oliver, who played Bastian, I don't think he's done anything else.
The first time I saw this, I thought that they were the same actor.
Same kid. You would almost want to think that that was the case because he was putting himself in the story, but that's not it at all. No.
Yeah.
Two completely different actors.
And Noah Hathaway says that there are a large number of people that come in and want tattoos of the Orin, which is the medallion.
Oh, you know what? If I was going to get that, I would have to get it from Noah Hathaway. Why would you not? That's a story.
Or if somebody went into that particular tattoo parlor not knowing that this guy that's giving you this tattoo is Atreyu.
Hold on. If I'm Atreyu and I'm Boxy from Battlestar Galactica, there's pictures all over my damn store with me in character.
I would hope so.
I would hope so, too. Yeah. And we got Deep Roy playing Teeny Weeny.
Is that the guy's name? I thought he was the Mad Hatter.
He does look like the Mad Hatter. That's a fast snail, by the way.
A racing snail.
Racing snail. And this poor girl who plays the Empress, Tammy Stronach. Mm-hmm. Yeah, had never acted before or since.
11 years old.
Yeah. Do you know why she no longer acts?
No.
Apparently, long before there was email, she was getting some very salacious mail from older gentlemen describing what they wanted to do to her. And the parents were like, yeah, we're done here. Creepy mother. I mean, she's adorable, but she's freaking 11 years old, dude. Come on.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can't have nice things. Yeah. So, and we don't get her. She doesn't show up until the end of the movie, but I think she's fantastic.
Yeah.
She plays her part well.
But again,
although she didn't look like she was dying.
You know, like that's what we're told, that she's been ill and she can't help because she's dying, but she's just kind of waiting for everything to play out.
Yeah, it's like at one point they're like wandering around in the swamps, and I'm like, are you looking for a Walgreens? What do you think is going to cure her?
We're going to bring Legend back into it now because just like Legend, this has two different scores.
Crazy, yeah.
So in the American version, we get the Lamal song, just like in Legend, we get the Brian Ferry song. Although in the European version, there is no Lamal song. It's just,
which is wild because
it's just
that
the
song
score
right off the bat sets the tone for this movie.
Yeah.
Listen, you bring in Kachagugu, I'm all in, especially in 1984, and this was a banger of a song.
It was, yeah. And this was a relative hit single. It wasn't a reflex by Duran Duran or anything like that, but it made the top 30 at least, I believe.
Yeah. It had a resurgence here a couple of years ago because of Stranger Things.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
The song, the Lamal song, plays over the opening credits. You're also getting shots of what is later on the Nothing, which is like all these swirly clouds.
Yeah, there's a completely different director doing those sequences.
And I think to get these shots, it's like actually injecting something into water.
Water.
So,
that's usually the go-to effect, yeah.
Lots of German names in the credits because this is a German production.
Yeah. Most expensive German production up to that point.
But interestingly enough, the actors, the dialogue is in English, so it's not like it's dubbed from German into English.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So we are introduced to Bastian. Again, just like Sarah in Labyrinth, he's lost his mother, so it's just him and his dad. Dad is Gerald McRaney, Simon and Simon.
I thought it was Dabney and Coleman at first. I'm like that. But so this is not in... There's a version of this where this is not in it.
Really?
This opening 7 minutes. And I thought I read that it wasn't in the American version, but that's not the case because, mine had the Lamal song. And it had this little 7 minute, which sets up Bastian and what he's going through.
Simon and Simon, mustache dad, as he's talking to Bastian, telling him, just like most dads in 80s movies, you got to grow up, you got to get this stuff out of your head, blah, blah, blah. And he's making an orange juice and egg blended
it's disgusting.
smoothie.
I'm watching this guy make this raw egg and orange juice.
And then he drinks it, and it's like, with a long mustache that I'm sure is dipping into this.
This is the only way he keeps his mustache. It's probably like... But yeah, the poor kid is like making... Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm going to work. Your mom is dead. I heard you skip some math classes. Go to school.
Yeah. And that's the last you see him. This kid stays overnight at the school. The dad, I guess, never comes looking for him?
No. He shows up. I give him credit, though. He shows up at school, immediately sees that there's a math test and says, screw this, and goes to the attic. He's like, I'm not doing this.
But the bullies before that throw him in the garbage.
These bullies need to go. And
so this is not a good life that this kid leads.
No, he could have easily struck back. These bullies are easy to take out. When he's running away from the bullies, he knocks over a guy who has a glass bottle of milk that he's just walking to work with. That's actually Peterson. That's the director.
That's the director, really?
That's the director. So he's running away. Yeah, they dump him in the dumpster. He gets out, runs away, and then hides in a bookstore.
So all these exterior scenes, kind of like Labyrinth is filmed like on two different continents. Same thing here. They did the studio shots in Germany, but these scenes are filmed in Vancouver, Canada.
Not Haverstraw.
Not Haverstraw.
That's too bad.
But he finds Corianders, the bookstore.
And this bookstore owner starts yelling at him. And I'm like, is every adult in this movie like just an a-hole?
Yeah.
I'm like, right off the bat, this kid just hiding out because he's reading this book that he immediately is like, oh, I'm going to sell this kid on this crack.
But first he tries to kick the kid out of the store. So what do you want to do? Kick him out or give him this book?
It didn't make any sense. It makes no sense. Then he gets distracted. He gets a phone call and he tells the guy on the phone, yeah, 300 to 375. It may take me a couple of weeks to find it. What kind of book is he looking for back in 1984 that's worth $375?
Like a first edition of Lord of the Rings isn't going to...
I saw one once. New Orleans. Yep, it was a bookstore, and I'm like, oh boy, if I only had to. I can't even tell you what they were asking for it back then, but it was like, yeah, you didn't have cell phones back then. I couldn't even take a picture.
So he leaves because he already whets the kid's appetite by saying that this book, it's not just a story. You get involved. You're in it when you read it. So when he goes to take the phone call, the kid's like, he can't help himself. He just takes the book.
But apparently it wasn't enough to keep this guy engaged. He's like, oh, you got a phone call? Yeah, okay, let me put this down. So was he waiting for the like there's a weird setup here.
Did this guy ever meet the princess? He's like, hello, princess.
Right, especially because later, right, the characters in the book are very aware that
this is the guy that's writing her letters, the poor actress.
He did seem creepy enough. Yeah. I did read he's the only character to show up in the two sequels. So there is a crossover where he just keeps
I've never seen him.
Book.
I've never seen him.
No, none of the other actors. I think they all aged out by the time they decided to make a sequel.
Yeah.
And Michael Ende, who this is based on his novel, fought really hard to not get this movie made. He was on board at first, but then they made too many changes to his original. He's like, nope, take my name off this thing. This is only the first half of the book.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's like there's a lot going on here. So anyway, immediately entices Bastian to steal the book and run away. He does leave him in the
I'll bring it back, back,
which is what I'm assuming the man had intended.
Right, because as he leaves, he's like, yeah.
But to what end? Like, I don't know. It's weird. So anyways, yeah, so he steals the book, goes to school, sees there's a math test, so sneaks up into the attic. And I got the impression that he had been up there many times because he knew where the key was.
He knew where the key was, and the attic looks like some arcane wizard's office.
It does not look like a school repository or anything. No. This has got skeletons and taxidermied animals, and this is where we're introduced to all of the fantasy characters.
So now we start to see scenes in Fantasia, and it looks like a completely different movie. It looks to me like it's like a Mighty Morphin's Power Ranger job where they found this German movie and bookended it with these other scenes.
Just sliced it. The book that's why Michael Ende was like, I don't want anything to do with this.
But that's not the case. No, it is all made by the same team, which is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Now, the special effects and characters, a lot of them in Neverending Story are kind of grotesque. Especially this one guy that you have, Deep Roy, who you mentioned, and the scene with the rock roller. And then there's this other like troll looking thing that kind of looks like that one bad guy character from Clash of the Titans. What was his name?
Caliban. That's exactly what I wrote in my notes. He looks like Caliban from Clash of the Titans.
So a lot of these things are very off-putting. And then get to the scene with the swamps of sadness, and you're just like, as a kid, you're done.
Got swamps all over the place in this episode. But that's what we meet these little characters hanging out, and all of a sudden a giant rock biter comes along on his Fred Flintstone mobile. And he just happens to see them down there.
Yeah.
But he's on his way to the Empress because the Nothing destroyed everything.
Yeah, it's literally leaving nothing behind. It's eating Fantasia.
It's easy. It's like the Galactus cloud. He's just coming to devour. All right, let's go see. So now we're off to see the Empress. This has got a little bit of Wizard of Oz vibes to it.
Yeah, they need to get to the Ivory Tower, which is where she lives.
And again, the world building, I do think that the world building in this is fantastic as well.
And then again, you get to the Ivory Tower and you see this crowd of beings that's gathered, and a lot of them are again very grotesque. There's like these four-faced people that are
there's some weird shit, excuse my French, but there's also in some of the behind the scenes featurettes I was watching, there's Yoda, an Ewok, Disney characters, because the producers and some of the artists that were putting this stuff together really wanted to come across the idea that this is like a shared universe.
So wait a second. You're telling me that Yoda is in that scene?
Yeah, it's you can only see them in like the faraway establishing shot, and then somebody had to circle it and say, "Oh yeah, that's Yoda over there," and those are Ewoks. And I'm like, "Oh, I never would have caught E.T. supposedly in there as well." and some Disney characters.
Mm.
But it's not like in the Senate scene in Star Wars where you explicitly see the ETs.
Right.
They're all kind of like hidden.
Because I did notice when Atreyu's on screen in the background, there's this three-headed bird thing that's like right over his shoulder. But that didn't look like anything to me. So yeah, Atreyu shows up. The speaker for the Empress is saying, "We need a warrior," and Atreyu shows up. It's like, "You're not. Get out of here, kid.
What are you doing?" Right? Yeah, we're told that the Empress is dying, and only Atreyu from the Plains people who hunt the purple buffalo.
Yeah.
And then this kid shows up, and they're like, "That no. What are you doing here?" He's like, "No, I'm Atreyu." Oh, okay, cool. You want to go on a quest? Yeah, okay, I'll do it. Oh, by the way, you can't take any weapons with you, and you need to go alone. 0 chance of survival. Who made up these rules?
Yeah, I know. Why can't you have weapons? Who would know if you did have them?
We are going to give you the snake pendant, though.
And at the same time, a creature of darkness was also moving across Fantasia.
Is he connected to Atreyu? Because later on, he doesn't recognize him. I'm like, you just tracked this kid halfway around the world. So
you find out it's a wolf. And it's a very impressive wolf.
Yes, again, yeah.
The Gamork. The Gamork from Gaork.
Gamork and Mindy? Gamork and Gamindy?
The funny thing is that Atreyu guest starred on Mork and Mindy himself.
What? Did he?
Yeah, he did. That's one of his acting credits.
As Atreyu?
I don't know as what, but he was on as an actor.
This is also where we're introduced to Artax.
Artax.
Some say that this may be the saddest moment in all of 80s movies.
When I first saw the Neverending Story, it was a couple of years before Labyrinth, so I was 13. Even at that age, I got to the Swamps of Sadness, and I was out. I was like, I don't want to watch the rest of this. I didn't see it in the theater, obviously. I didn't walk out of the theater. Yeah. I saw it on video. I stopped the movie after that.
Yeah. I think I was too old to really be emotionally attached to it. But Noah Hathaway, actually, when he does these conventions, puts out a bucket of dollar bills and for anybody who comes up and tells him that they were emotionally traumatized as children. He'll give them $1
you
for
actually,
therapy.
I thought I was watching this horse actually die.
Well, apparently there are like urban legends that this horse almost died. That he was,
and I would understand why.
Hydraulic, yeah, no, I mean, he's all the way
as
up
a
to
kid,
his neck.
It's very easy to misconstrue that.
No, I mean, he dies on screen, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a kid who goes to these conventions and cosplays as Atreyu, and he walks around with a severed horse head, and he recreates this moment on the carpet. And I'm just like, you're a cold-hearted little fuck. Damn.
The reason that they're in the Swamps of Sadness is to find the ancient one, which is the giant turtle, Borla.
Yeah.
Who just keeps sneezing on him.
Go to Shell Mountain. Well, I mean, if this thing is hundreds of years old, anything is going to be younger than it. So he's like, oh, I'm allergic to youth. Yeah. And he gets like turtle snot blasts 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm out of here.
Bastian screams for no apparent reason at one point, maybe because he's scared of the turtle, and they can hear him screaming in the story.
And that's when you realize that they're aware that someone is actually reading their story, but not to the point that where he realizes it's a human. Yeah. But anyways, the stupid turtle basically just says, "Oh, by the way, you gotta go see the Southern Oracle."
Yeah, I don't know how to save the Empress, but the Southern Oracle does. But that's 10,000 miles away.
10,000 miles away. Okay, I think the only thing sadder than Artax's death is watching Atreyu trudge out of that swamp all by himself after having that ridiculous inane conversation with Grandma Gamera there.
But then Falkor shows up because the Gamork from Gaork is about to get him.
But this is Gamork from. It's not the most scary name.
No,
you think you could have come up with something a little more menacing. Yeah, Falkor shows up. But this is also, so you're cutting back and forth between this kid reading the book. School's done. He sees that everyone leaves the school, and he's like, I'm not going home. My mom's dead. So he goes back in the attic. But then isn't there like the storm is brewing? There's like a storm blowing open the windows. It's a fun little parallel between Bastian and Atreyu because Atreyu's getting blasted with the turtle snot while he's getting the storm. And even later, they're aware that people are watching Bastian's story. And I'm like, they can see that I'm watching this. This is a little too meta for me.
Falkor brings them the 10,000 miles.
Now, Falkor, anyone who has never seen this movie, is the giant fluffy dragon dog.
Yeah.
With the big puppy dog ears. Apparently, I think he was supposed to be a lot more dragon-like, and they decided to soften him up.
But again, we're talking about Labyrinth and the amazing characters. This thing is an amazingly realized, practical,
there's like a
life-size
43 foot long puppet.
Yeah, and when Atreyu wakes up and Falkor is sleeping, you see his stomach rising and falling as he's breathing in his sleep, and you can tell it's probably just somebody inside there pushing out.
Yeah. You can still see him. He's at a museum in Germany.
I was going to say, is he at the Lost Luggage Germany as well?
Lost Luggage, yes, him and Hoggle.
Yeah.
No, you can go right on him. Take your picture with him.
Put your fist up in the air as you're on his back.
Why would I not?
Yeah, and I'm sure hopefully they have a giant fan so they can blow it as you're getting your picture taken. I believe that's
exactly what they do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Falkor saves him.
Yeah, Falkor brings him to the little tiny elf couple.
Yeah,
this could have been Billy Crystal. Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly. Yep. Have fun storming the castle. But Falkor is a luck dragon, and this is a very convenient device because overnight he flew the 10,000 miles. Like he just swoops in, picks up Atreyu, and takes him almost the whole way,
right to the gate of the Oracle. Yeah.
Oh, the gates of Adrian Barbeau.
Yes.
And if you watch the behind the scenes doc, they actually blur out the boobs.
well, yeah, it's probably not rated PG, the behind the scenes doc.
I just thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, whoever goes through there ends up blind. They didn't tell Atreyu that because their eyes get poked out.
Boink, boink. Yeah. You really don't need to believe in yourself. You just need to be a fast runner. Apparently.
That's exactly what I wrote down here because Atreyu he's still scared, but he just avoids it. He's like,
these are giant boobs, man, coming right at me. But the old couple is fun. And of course they give him the information that he needs to, they watch someone try and go through the gates and get zapped by the eyeballs.
After you make it through those two, then you get through the other two that even have a bigger pair of Tetons back there, the blue ones.
Yeah.
And so that one was the Gate of Mirrors, where you have to
mirror gate or something. Yeah.
You look at yourself.
I didn't quite get this. He looked in the mirror, and I'm watching this on my phone, so I didn't quite what was his reflection? Because it didn't stop.
He's looking at Bastian. They're looking at each other.
That's what I thought. They're looking at each other.
Yeah. Although that didn't seem to cause him much strife or trouble. So
no, but Bastian threw the book. He was like, "What the?" Yeah, and then he passed right through. Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm cool. We're good.
So these two oracles tell him that all the Empress needs is a new name. That's all you got to do. And she's better.
Oh, okay. I have a name for you. Send me on this stupid quest. But you need a human child to name him. You can't just name him. That can only be found beyond the boundaries of Fantasia.
So no, as a viewer, that Bastian is going to be the one that names, because Bastian at that point says to himself, my mother had a wonderful name.
Yeah, okay. Tell us what it is.
So they're kind of too late because the nothing has already taken over all of Fantasia. Atreyu gets back on Falkor, but he falls off, lands on a beach, comes across our rock friend.
Oh, yeah, this is actually pretty sad.
It is, because he's accepted his fate, that he's just going to take it now. He's not fighting anymore.
But he's lamenting the fact that, these always look like strong hands. I couldn't save them. I thought my hands were strong. I'm like, wow, that's really kind of sad. He's like, those friends that you met at the beginning of the movie, they're gone. Yep.
So this is where it all starts to blend together even more, because Atreyu is looking at all the different rock walls that's surrounding him, and it's like pictures from a picture book of his story that's happened up until that point. Gamork shows up at this point. You can be my last victim. And they have little battle.
And he tells him this whole people who have no hope are easy to control. And I'm like, boy, if that's not a 2026 slogan, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
So, but again, he's like, yeah, I was chasing down this kid and I lost track of him. His name was Atreyu. I'm like, what kind of a wolf are you? You can't smell him that he's the same. You tracked him this whole way.
So the wolf has been trying to help the nothing so then he can have power, like once the nothing takes over. But what would he have power over?
Left. Right. I don't know.
He was sent to kill the one that could stop it, who was Atreyu, but he leaps and Atreyu ends up just stabbing him. Easy.
Right,
easy
correct.
kill. Yeah.
You did see this animatronic wolf basically landed on this poor kid and lacerated him.
Yeah.
He ended up with some stitches.
So the nothing takes everything over, and there's only a few fragments of Fantasia left floating in space. Falkor and Atreyu, they're still alive, though. So they fly to the ivory tower, which is on its own little meteor.
Which is still floating around.
Yep. And this is where we meet the princess.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I knew all along. We just need a human name. Wait a minute. My horse drowned. I almost died. And now you're telling me you had the answer all along?
Yeah, you had to suffer. The human child suffered with you. You brought him here.
Yeah, again, I have a name for you. It's not going to be kind.
He's listening to every word we say right now.
Right. There are those who are watching him. And I'm like, this is where I'm like, wow, this is really meta. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
She's aware that he's in a movie, reading a book that we're watching. That was crazy.
She begs Bastian to give her name.
Okay.
And Bastian goes to the window and yells something unintelligible.
Yeah, which is apparently intentional that he yells something unintelligible.
Because like the thunder cracks when he yells it. So you can't hear it. But, all accounts say that he's yelling Moonchild.
That's his mom's name? Moonchild does not look like she was married to Simon and Simon.
No.
That does not sound like somebody who is. That's your mom's name, Moonchild. Okay. So if Bastian controls the narrative, what would happen if he just flipped to the last page of the book?
He would save Atreyu an awful lot of pain. Yeah.
Right. It's like a choose your own adventure.
Princess looks straight at camera, calling for Bastian to just say it.
Say it. Fantasia gets restored because she now has a new name. Do any of these characters remember what just happened? Does Artax know that he died in mud?
Or I would hope not.
That they're just everything's back to normal. And if that's the case, why would they even wave at him? Because they wouldn't know who he was.
Even if I had watched this all the way through the first viewing, that very traumatic first viewing as a kid, seeing Artax writing, it's not enough.
No.
You have to, it's from a distance, and Atreyu is just writing him, and he's just like a little pinpoint on the screen. I would want to be more reassured than that yes, this is Artax back.
This is in fact the same horse.
Yep, let's do a blood test.
Show me the mud lines.
This is a correlation with the end of Labyrinth because Bastian is saying no when she's asking him to give her name. No, I must keep my feet on the ground. I must be an adult. I must be responsible.
His dad just beat it out. All right, you just skipped school for like 3 days straight.
Yeah.
You didn't go home. You're engrossed in this book, man. Just give it up.
So again, just like Sarah does, he embraces the fantasy at the end.
Sure. At this point, she's calling me by name. That's a stronger tether than what Sarah had.
It's a little bit ambiguous what happens at the end because she says, now Fantasia lies with you.
Right. So
and you get as many wishes as you want for whatever reason. My first wish, let me get those bullies back. Just like
retribution.
Just like Clark at the end of Superman 2.
I'd be like, you know what? We're taking your wishes away. That's what you wish for? Really?
I would have
You can't wish for your mom to come back?
Yeah. Okay. All Falkor does is chase the bullies into the garbage can, right?
Yeah.
Falkor should have picked them all up in his mouth, ripped them limb from limb, throwing body parts like into offices and stuff, blood splattering against windows as he's laughing maniacally, Falkor.
Falkor. Wow.
And the kid is getting blood splashed on his face, laughing.
Getting disemboweled. Wow.
That's the end I would have wanted.
Leave one with the rock biter.
Yeah.
This is where Michael Ende was like, I'm done here. No, the whole point was that he gets sucked into this story and it takes over his imagination. He can't bring these characters into the real world.
Is he now certifiably insane? He's just in his own head now?
I don't know. Imagine. So if you cut to reality from the three bullies' point of view, it's just him with his hand up, pretending that he's riding on something.
And they're just beating him up anyway?
Correct. Yeah. They're like, hey, let's go. Yeah. And it's really him
instead of their blood splashed on his face, it's his own blood splashed on his face.
I'll show you. I don't know.
So the voiceover says Bastian made many more wishes and had many more adventures. Where? In the real world or in Fantasia?
Right. And where does Falkor go afterwards?
But
I'm gonna camp out.
And just like Conan, that is another story.
Yeah, okay. Because it's never ending.
It's never ending.
Never ending. What happens when he takes the book back to the bookkeeper?
He'll probably like, did you give the princess my phone number?
Did you get my letters? That Falkor is cool. I beat up my bullies with him as well. Yeah, it is ambiguous. You're like, oh, wait a minute. But don't get me wrong, it's a fun journey getting there.
You want to hear what Gene Siskel said about this one?
Oh, geez. Okay.
He referred to Noah Hathaway as a dullard. And said that the film
wrong with this guy.
And said that the film was much too long, while Ebert countered, it's only 90 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's even an hour and a half.
Ebert liked this more than he did Labyrinth. He gave it 3 out of 4 stars.
This guy's real. How do we watch these guys and be like, you know what? Based on this guy's recommendation, I'm not going to see this movie. Not every movie's made for you. Simple as that.
New York Times hated it. Vincent Canby called it a graceless, humorless fantasy for children. It actually was a box office success worldwide, anyway.
In Germany, I'm sure they probably.
Yeah, I think if I read correctly, at the time this was released, this was the biggest moneymaker in Germany, like ever. It cost between 27 million in US dollars to make, and worldwide it made 100 million. So it was quite the worldwide success.
But it was also based on a book written in German.
Yes, so it was huge news in Germany.
I was going to say they probably were like, oh, I loved that book as a kid. And then they're like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
Can't bring Falkor into the real world. Imagine it dumps that thing. Dad comes home.
I still say that Falkor's white fur should have been stained red with those bullies' blood.
Wow. Some deep-rooted hate of bullies right there.
Yeah.
Well, the one wearing the red hat, I was like, well, we'll take him off first.
He looked like Chunk. One of them looked like Chunk.
He did look like Chunk. I don't think any of those kids went on to do anything.
Probably Canadian actors filmed in Vancouver as it was.
Did you see that apparently in the book, Atreyu was green, and they tried to actually put green makeup on him, and they're like, yeah, it's not going to work.
Noah Hathaway says he looked like fungi once they colored him green.
Hey, I'm a fun guy to be with.
So Noah Hathaway never actually met the actor playing Bastian, Barrett Oliver, until after filming, because they didn't have any scenes together. But yeah, like I said, the first time I saw it, up until the Swamps of Sadness, I just thought they were the same actor.
Yeah, there really isn't that much difference between them. Slap a wig on him, and you would think.
Noah Hathaway was so pale when he was cast, they had to send him to the tanning salon to darken his skin because he's supposed to be on the plains, I guess, under the sun.
So I mentioned that life-size Falkor. It is at the Bavaria Film Park in Munich, Germany.
Okay.
And you can
I wonder what
there.
else is there. I wonder what else.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm trying to think what else has been filmed in Germany.
Willy Wonka, as we were mentioning before. Yeah.
Switzerland, I think. Yeah. The Orin, actually, do you know who owns the original Orin prop?
I do, but I'll let you say it.
Mr. Steven Spielberg himself, because apparently he personally helped edit the U.S. version. So
I wonder if he asked for that?
I don't know. He's like, since I helped you out, can I get some?
Yeah.
He probably wanted Falkor. Can I get that big fluffy dragon dog? It's probably right next to the crumpled remains of the house from Poltergeist. Steven Spielberg's office must be the coolest place on the planet.
I know, right?
You know, I'm dying to go. That George Lucas museum is opening this year in LA.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's on my list. I still want to go. I'm still not buying the fact that his mom's name was Moonchild.
All right. How many buckets out of 5 would you
I'm
give?
giving it the exact same. I'm going 4.25.
4.25? I like Labyrinth a bit more than the
Yeah.
Neverending Story. I'm going to give Neverending Story 3.5
Oh,
buckets.
wow. Okay. It was a fun pairing. There's a lot of parallels. We got some Muppet action going on.
Yeah.
Fantasy worlds. Not that far difference between the two of them as far as when they were released. So pretty much the same, again, all practical.
That's what I love about both movies.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I was excited about this stop motion studio. Let's get practical again. No CG. So there you go. That's cool. That was fun.
It was.
And I'm hoping that you were not traumatized again by Artax.
No, I was not, because I was convinced that I had seen him go completely under, like with my own eyes.
Oh, gotcha.
But that's not the case. It goes
Isn't
up
that
to
wild?
his,
Is it like from a kid's memory perspective? You're like, nope, I'm not watching that because that scared the living crap out of me.
It just upset me. So
yeah, no, apparently you're not alone. A lot of people out there traumatized. Generations of children. That and Macaulay Culkin dying in My Girl.
So you're saying that Hathaway leaves $1 out for anybody that was traumatized.
Oh, listen, I'd be up there. I'd put a fake mustache on and just could walk up there all day and take all of his money.
I know. It's like that's all your trauma is worth to him is $1. That's more insulting than anything else.
Here, take $1.
Yeah.
That's not going to cover my therapy costs at all.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to do what else you did? You were on vacation. Of course
I was, but
you did vacation-y things.
I was on a plane coming and going with movies in my on my screen. So I talked enough already. Why don't you go first?
Well, what movies did you see?
So the one that I want to bring up is a recently new movie with Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz called Caught Stealing.
Yeah, I saw that. I can use that as well as mine.
Okay, all right. So it's directed by Darren Aronofsky.
Yep.
And I'm watching this, and it's like, I guess I'm so used to him having a certain sensibility to some of his movies. And I'm like, this is playing out like a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it gets really dark. But I will say Matt Smith is a lot of fun. He's not in it enough. He's not in it enough. But it gets really dark. And we have Griffin Dunn is also in there from American Werewolf in London and After Hours.
And After Hours, yes.
So
there's a lot of really disgusting toilet and litter box imagery in this movie as well. That's
one of the key points was the key was hidden in the cat's litter box.
Just looking at the apartment that this guy lives in and like the relative kind of the hovelness of it. Like how can anybody live and work in New York City if they're in these conditions? It's well,
this was also a timepiece because it was like the 90s.
It's supposed to be the 90s.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah. I also watched the Channing Tatum movie Roofman.
Is that a movie? I thought it was a series. It's just a movie.
No, it's a movie. Okay. It's based on a true story.
Okay.
And again, it's not like the trailer makes it look like it's kind of like a funny comedy, and it's not. This guy's a piece of crap. Kirsten Dunst is in it, and Peter Dinklage. And this is a movie I was like, I don't even want to talk about this now.
Yeah.
Because he turns out to be not such a nice guy, even though he's a nice guy, he's portrayed. And at the end, they kind of give you the side-by-side of the real life guy and what played out. Yeah, Caught Stealing. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so that's on Netflix now.
Okay.
Roofman, I think, is on Paramount. And I saw Life of Chuck on Hulu. It's got Tom Hiddleston, and it's a Stephen King story. And so, yeah, bring your hankies. So this is not like a horror Stephen King story. It's, like a 5 hanky alert, Stand By Me kind of a Stephen King story.
Is he getting soft in his old age?
Starring Mark Hamill, by the way.
He was also just in the Last Mile, Long Mile.
Mia Sara.
Wow. Talk about bringing it home. I didn't even know she was still acting.
Yeah, every King movie Mark Hamill seemingly is being a part of here.
That's fine.
So,
Life of Chuck. What's it about?
I don't even want to say, because if you haven't seen it, just know that it's good. It's worth your time. But I don't want to say too much because the joy of it is not knowing where this is going or what genre this even is supposed to be. So, yeah, I would.
Oh, interesting. Where can I watch this?
On Hulu. So if you have that Disney Plus Hulu package, it's on your Disney Plus as well.
Okay. All right. I'll find it somewhere. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next time we're going to the island. You just came back from a vacation,
Yes, I
but
did
this is
come
we're
back from
going
the
back on
island.
another one
Yeah.
of sorts.
Yeah, this was interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't when I first saw this trailer, I'm like kind of dismissive of it. And then when I saw Sam Raimi's name,
Yes, I didn't know that Sam Raimi is the director of this, and now I'm all on board.
Yeah. And again, as we're getting closer to this, so we're talking about, is it save me? No, save us. Help me. Send help. SOS. What is it
You'll
called?
get there. You'll get there. Keep going. So send help. I believe it is send
USS
help.
Minnow. It's the SS Minnow. Gilligan's Island. So send help. And I will tell you this, that I was watching football the other day and the trailer came on and they're showing a lot more. I'm like, just stop. Stop with these damn trailers.
I only know the bare basics. Somebody caught on a desert island with their boss that they don't like very
they're on
much.
like a business trip. They get crashed. So it's kind of like Castaway, but with your boss, your overbearing boss. So it's like if Wilson was a jerk.
But we know it's Sam Raimi, so it's got to have some horror elements to it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see Jack Black with a pig tied to his head.
Yeah. And did we decide what we're doing as a backup feature?
I think we talked about Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yes. Now, which version, though, are we covering?
My only one I know of is the original with
Burt Lancaster?
Oh, no, Marlon Brando?
Yeah, no, there's a 77 version with Michael York and Burt Lancaster. And it was on the back of like every comic I used to have in the late 70s. I'm surprised you're not aware of this.
So when did the
Brando Val Kilmer version?
Yeah.
That's 95.
That's that late?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we have to go the original then.
The 77, yeah.
I think so. With like the pig people. The guy with
it's the same story every one, but you don't.
I just remember the creepy midget thing, or maybe that was from the Brando version.
That's from the Brando version.
Oh crap!
They're both on Tubi, by the way. But we'll watch the 1977 version.
Yes, that's if we're gonna do it. Let's go all the way back. Yeah, so we're island hopping.
We are.
Bring your rum runners.
So send help and the Island of Dr. Moreau.
Cool. All right. That would be February. Wow. Right into February now. Yeah. Holy crap. Half the year's gone already.
We're still in the Monday of the year.
It'll be Thursday before you know it. Well, that was fun. I was glad I watched. I was sad I did not get to see Labyrinth in the theater. There was two 6 o'clock showings on like a Wednesday, Thursday or something.
Every time I've gone to a Fathom event at my Regal, they've screwed it up somehow. And this was the first time it went through no problems whatsoever.
First for everything, huh? Okay. Cool. Well, all right. As always, thank you very much for listening.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll see you on the island.
Yes, we will. Bye.
All right. Bye.
If you like what you just heard, be sure to follow TMI Confessionals of the Nerd Kind on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, or whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Also, be sure to email us at tmipodcast2018@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Threads. Just go to tmiconfessionalspodcast.com. All of our links are there. And leave us a 5-star review. See you at the concession stand.
Smell bad.